Good morning, family. Good morning. This is what I'm up to this morning. Last night I came out and I had this oil draining to this transmission. I am going to service this transmission today. It was doing some hard downshifting and it's a bit overdue. You're supposed to service it this transmission calls for, I think, every 60,000 miles service. It's the 68 RFE transmission, and so it's been about this truck has over 539,000 miles on it, but the transmission was replaced. The stock original transmission was replaced at 317,000 miles. So this one has about 22,000 miles on it, and this will be my third time servicing it. So I think I've only serviced the first two after I serviced the first time, I think, after 60,000, and the second time I think I did that after like 150,000 or so, and then now it has 222,000 miles. So I'm about 12,000 miles over from servicing it, but better late than never. The hard downshifting, sometimes when it shifts hard, that's an indicator that the filters are clogged, and so I am going to replace the filters on here, and I've got to loosen all these bolts. I think this is like, what, 15 bolts around here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 bolts. So let me get my wrench. I forgot what size. I think these are like a size 10 millimeter bolts, and then I got one 12 down here, because when I was putting it on, I think I shared in a video some time ago, a few years ago, when I first got this new transmission. After I serviced it the first time, I replaced the original stock pan that comes on it. It's the same size and everything, but the original pan, it doesn't come with any type of drain bolt. This comes with the drain bolt here. It's a 17 millimeter drain bolt, and this is an aftermarket pan that I purchased for this transmission. So I had it draining all last night, so all of the fluid is out. But however, once I take the pan off, it's going to be more fluid in the back of the pan, and then also when I unscrew the filter, there's going to be some fluid in the filter as well. So anyway, let me go and get my sockets that I need to loosen all of this. Okay, I am back. I had to find, come back, Daniel. I had to find the bolts that I needed, and these are 8 millimeter bolts, and then this one on this side that I think when I was putting it back in is script, so I have a nut on the other side. That I thought it was a 12 millimeter, but then I had to get a metric. It's 7/16 here, and so I'll use a wrench when I get ready to loosen that side, just to hold that nut over that side. So let me set that aside. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and put this bolt back on, so I don't have to worry about any fluid falling in my face. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten this back up. Where's my wrench? 17 millimeter. So I will tighten that up at the same torque that I put on the one at the front, which is 35 foot-pounds. Don't need that much torque, it's tight. So like that, I'm not gonna put the same amount of torque because that's really tight. So anyway, now I'm gonna slide this pan over, because nothing's gonna be dropping right now until I loosen these bolts. And where's my other wrench? Oh, right there. I know I had Okay, so let's use this one. Alright, let's get these bolts loose. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this until I get all 15 of these bolts loose, so I don't have to make this video that long. I'm just unscrewing all of these bolts, and I don't have to worry about the pan dropping, because with it being so hot, it's gonna with the transmission getting so hot, and then the sealant, the ATV sealant that I have around there, even when I loosen all the bolts, the pan is just not gonna fall down. It's gonna still need to be pried down. But I'm gonna loosen all of these little bolts first, and I'll pause this until I get them all out. Something just reminded me to go in the house and get my power tool instead of doing all of this manually by hand. I could go and get this tool, and instead of using my strength to loosen every single one of these bolts, this tool will help make it a lot faster. See? Look at that. I'm just going to take them out. I normally put them, each one, back in every hole. I will line them up and all of that, but you know, after you get so used to your vehicle after so many years, you stop being so particular. So I won't be lining these bolts back up. I just make sure I got all 15 of them up there, and before I put them back on, I'll clean a lot of the ATV sealant that's around a lot of them. I'll clean that off so they'll go in clean, but I'll peel it off by hand. But other than that, that's it. Alright, I got those, and this thing is just zipping them out. Get over here. Now when I put these back in, I'll start each one by hand, because one thing I don't want to do is strip the bottom of this transmission pan. That's what we don't want to do. Monte, you was over there snoring like a hog, girl. And we also got to make sure that we clean all around the pan really good. Okay, I got all 15 bolts out. That really did not take long with that gun. So now, oh wow, this nut up here wasn't so tight on there. Wait a minute, it's loosening. All right. So here's my wrench. I had that nut for extra security, because when I script this hole, I didn't know how it's gonna go. So this hole. I went and bought this nail from, this screw from Lowe's, and I got that nut on the back side of it, because this bolt, there's a hole where this bolt will go. But when the other one didn't seem to fit, I got a bolt long enough to go all the way through the other side of the back side. Goes all the way through here, and I just put that nut on. So keep these up yonder to go together, and now the hard part. Or does it get easier? Let's see. This pan. Oh, this pan gotta be pried down, and I'm gonna have to come to the other side. Gotta pry it. So I'll just try to hit a few spots and get that seal broken. There we go. I can hear it. You hear that? It's separating. But that joker is on there tight. That's how you want it, so you don't get no leaks. Good job. There we go. And she's got it. There we go. I don't want this fluid. I know some more. Oh, here we go. I was just about to say that I don't want this fluid come spilling out the back of here. I know it's back in there. Ah. On my short screwdriver. Get my short screwdriver. On the other side. Look at that. See how it's draining right there? I don't want to. Oh man. So much for the doggone driveway. I already wasted some oil down here anyway, so I've got to pressure wash this driveway anyway, because last night when I came out, I like to drain the oil, the engine oil, especially when it's actually, let me get from under here so I can get the camera and sit down and talk while I clean this and get my hands and stuff clean with a fresh pair of gloves. But I messed up the driveway last night. It's all black down there because the oil, when it's kind of warm, it gushes out at a faster speed anyway. And so I had a tarp down. I was like, let me put a tarp because I know it's going to gush out. But it was coming out so fast that the pan that I used, just like this, it wasn't even catching it fast enough. So this is the filter. That's the old oil filter, the spin-on filter right here. And that's the flat filter. They need to be replaced. I don't know if you can see this, but let me grab the phone so I can show that. It's kind of, wait a minute. Okay, so you can see up under here, this is how it looks, a 68 RFE transmission. So now before I put that new pan back on, I'm going to have to get up under here and clean all of this. And I've got a plastic scraper, but all of this is the old gasket, and it needs to be scraped off. Why? Because if this thing is not smooth and you're going to put a new gasket on, try to put a new gasket on around the pan and stick it up here, it's going to have all of these little bubbles. So you got to get all of this off and take time. I like to take time and get all my stuff off before I put it back together. And so this is how it looks. And you can see here, I don't know if you can, oh, I can't use the camera. Let me see something. I don't know if you can see that, but this is dirty. Look. You see that? See? Let me see if I can find the clean part of this rag. See this? Look. Look. See that? So when people say, oh, don't service the transmission. Now, a lot of older cars, they're not smart. When I say not smart, the computer systems aren't smart. See that dirt coming off of that filter? See that? It gets dirty over time because you got to think about it. All of these metal gears are moving around, shifting. That's what causes us to go. And I was trying to see if I could loosen this by hand. No, I'm going to have to put my wrench on it. But that's fine. But all these metal gears are shifting around, causing us to, causing the vehicle. This is what propels the vehicle, this transmission. This is what puts it in drive, reverse, neutral, all of that. And so when you got all these metal internal parts up in there, it's sitting the fluid down here, passing through these components to clean the fluid. But over time, the metal touching metal, you have metal shavings. And so it gets dirty, metal upon metal. And then all the heat, the temperatures goes up and down. And so some people will say, oh, don't touch it. Don't go inside of that transmission. And for these newer vehicles that have these smart transmission, you need to touch it. You need to go inside of the transmission because you have to, if the filters get clogged and you never change these filters, they can restrict fluid flow. And then after you go in these transmissions, they're smart. You have to put a computer on it. So even after filling it with fluid, letting it run, getting the temperature up, and got to drive it for a while, make sure that you have the proper fluid level in it, then you have to put a computer on it and do what is called, on this particular transmission, a trans relearn. And what that does is it's a test that takes about 5 minutes or less. You can go to the dealer and get it done. It's anywhere from $125 to $200 something dollars. But if you got your own computer, which I do, you can put your computer on it, and it takes less than 5 minutes, and a computer will tell you when to put it in drive, when to put it in reverse. You got to keep your foot on the brake and put the emergency brake on, because what it does is it's adding power and it's letting you shift in drive, and it's relearning how much fluid needs to be transferred between gears, right? So this is considered a smart transmission. And so anytime you open this transmission and come in it, to change filters, to change any parts, and this right here is a solenoid pack. Sometimes these go bad and you have to replace these solenoid packs. They're like $200 to $300. You just have to loosen all of these T bolts in it and take this filter off, and then the pack comes out and you put the new one in and put all of those bolts right back in it. These are the T bolts here. But in my original stock transmission, my solenoid went bad at the 175,000 miles. This one, I thank God it hasn't gone bad. I hope it never goes bad. We plead the blood of Jesus over it. But yeah, so when people say you shouldn't go inside the transmission, when you have a smart transmission and it requires a certain amount of service, then I would suggest getting it serviced. That's just my little 2 cents, right? So anyway, let's get from under here. But this is the pan. There's a magnet inside of this pan that's supposed to catch the metal. You see how that's clogged? Look, it's got soot on it from dirty oil and also old metal shavings. It catches it as it travels through the fluid, and this magnet sticks at the bottom of the pan. Alright, so I clean that off every time and put it right back in there once I finish getting the pan clean. You see this pan is really dirty on the inside of here. Plus it's got more fluid down in there. So I'll out real good. And then the annoying part, which takes a little time. I'm not in any rush though. I'll just take my time today and get all this. But the annoying part is getting all of this old gasket off. A lot of it I could peel off. But yeah, so that's what I'll do right here. Sit here and I've got a lot of it off of the pan up under there already. And I've got it on here good too. I wanted to make sure I didn't have any leaks. Anyway, I'm gonna stop this and get this gasket cleaned off and then go up under the truck and finish cleaning that one off and then get the filters off, and I'll show you how I take the filters off. Okay, I am back. What I's already done did is I done scraped all the gasket from around here and cleaned that off. I then cleaned the pan. I got the pan ready for a new gasket. Now I'm going to take the filters off. So let me prepare for that because I'm going to lose some more fluid. And I forgot what size this flat filter is. A T bolt that holds that flat filter. I'm going to try a T10. Nope, it's not a T10. So I'm going to go up to the next size to a T15. Let's see that one. Or is it T15? Yep, that's a T15. And no, actually it's not a T15, this is a T20. So you're gonna loosen this T20 bolt. Just one bolt here. Loosen this. And see, it's gonna loosen more fluid. There's a little washer on the bolt. So sit that up there. Put that to the side. Work it out. There you go. It's losing more fluid. I'm gonna sit that filter there. Where is my napkin? So let's use a new one. I had a old one I was already using. Yeah. Okay, so that is still draining. And now I use this to loosen the filter by hand just a little bit. Loosen it. Now I'll finish loosening that by hand. The spin on filter. It's gonna lose more fluid. I'm gonna take this off. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, this draining. Make sure I definitely don't use this bolt for the new spin on filter. I'm gonna lose that. Sit that right here. Out of the way. Got the new filters here in the box. New spin on filter. That other one is draining. Well, actually, let me just get it out of the way before I put everything else back. And when they make these transmissions, there we go. when they make these transmissions, that bolt that I just screwed the spin-on filter off of, I don't know why they do it like that, but it's just a plastic bolt that it's a plastic piece that it spins on. That's how it comes from the factory. And over time, I think that's why my first transmission failed, even though I still got good mileage out of it. One day it just went boof. And I didn't service it but one time either. But still yet, I think it was due to that spin-on filter falling down, because the plastic piece that's made to spin it on, over time, with all of the heat and stuff like that, the temperature changes, it could crack, and then that whole spin-on filter drops off and destroys the whole transmission. So what you can do is, what I did, you can unscrew that plastic bolt, and there's a $20, the same type of screw, is made out of aluminum metal. It's on Amazon for the 68 RFE transmission, and you can replace it, and so now you won't have to worry about that issue ever coming up again. So that's that. I'm gonna let all of this stuff continue to drain some more while I got the new filters here. I'm gonna let that keep draining a bit before I put the new filters on. And then this filter here, I'm gonna go and take this. It comes with this black plastic piece installed in it, but you gotta remove that out. I just take my torque wrench and put it in there and just zip it out, and then I'll just stick this back up there. But I normally also add a little bit of fluid in here. I don't put this back on dry so that it's not, the transmission has fluid when it starts back up. So I'll add a little bit of fluid in here, and then I'll stick this back up there, and then I'll put the spin-on filter on. So let me pause this and go zip out this little black plastic piece that they put pre-installed in here in these filters, which I don't know why they pre-installed these pieces. You gotta take them out. It's difficult if you don't have a torque wrench, but I got a torque wrench. Okay, I'm back. I've removed the black piece from this. I've got this filled with some fluid, and this thing right here, if I were to leave this like this, it could drain like this for another few hours or so. But I'm just gonna go ahead and put this filter back on. I'm not gonna let it drain anymore. The new filter will help clear out any dirt in the fluid. Go ahead and add this back, and I'm just going to hand tighten this. Just drain it. There we go. There we go. I'm gonna let that stay hand tightened on there. I don't really tighten it too much with the tool when I'm putting it back on, because these things sometimes they bend the filter, and I don't want to run the risk of damaging the new filter. These transmission filters, they're very thin. They're made very thin. They're not sturdy at all. So I don't use any tools to put them back on. I just hand tighten them, and that's it. And heavy enough. And as the vehicle runs, it'll get sealed on there. So now that that's out of the way, let's get this where is it? Let's get this flat filter back on. And there's a gasket that seals up here for the flat filter. You can take the old one out, and it's like a little metal piece of a metal circle with a little rubber around it, but they get matted on there. It's so difficult to get a good angle to hit it. So I was like, you know what, it's sealed in there, let me just reuse it. So I've never taken them out. It's just very tight to get it out, and my new filters always fit snug right back on the inside of there. So in my old transmission, I've always just pressed in the new filter in there and put it right back in place. See how snug it was going up in there? So I don't replace it. I just snug it right back up there, just like that. And here's the place where I bolt this on. Yep, there we go. So that's back in place. Now I'm just gonna get this bolt. This bolt back in. Let's start this bolt by hand. Like I got some dirt up in the bolt or something. Okay, let's start it again. There we go. Now just tighten it down. That's it. Now the filters have been replaced. The next thing to do is to seal up the pan really good. So let me go get from under here, and I'll put some of my tools up. I still got to go get some oil, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the silicone to the pan, and then I'll come and put the bolts in and just snug them just a little bit, but I won't torque them. And then I'll let it sit so the silicone can kind of, instead of just smashing it all the way down, but I'll come and just snug the bolts up, snug the pan up here. And then when I go to Walmart and pick up me some oil and come back and put on my oil filter and stuff like that, give it about an hour so the silicone can kind of cure a little bit. And then I'll torque the bolts down, take it up a little bit more, torque the bolts down, just to try to make sure I got a good edge on it, so I don't have any leaks with the fluid once everything gets sealed back up. And then once I torque the bolts and everything down, I'm still going to let it sit for a while again to kind of cure before I add fluid to it, right? So I'll let it sit for another just until I finish up the oil and stuff like that, and then we'll go from there. And then later we'll end up doing the transmission relearn. So let me go and get the oil pan and add the bead around it. Okay, now I have got the pan. Woo! It was difficult putting this gasket on. My little fingers was getting tired squeezing that gasket on. But this is the best one. They make a paper gasket, but it is not good at all. So I want to be careful to get this thing up there properly. Oh shucks. Okay, I just got it around there. Okay. Let's try this again. Just get okay. Got one bolt in the top. See if I can get one bolt in the back. Is it a line? Trying to get a back bolt in. Oh, let me try this side. I didn't do a good job with this gasket at all. So I'm hoping that it holds. I remember one time when I serviced my old transmission, the very first time, I was hearing all people saying all kind of negative stuff. Oh, don't go in that transmission. Oh, you go in that transmission, you're going to start having problems with it. You shouldn't service no transmission. And so after I serviced my first one, the stock one that I had, I was debating if I should use the paper gasket or, a silicone gasket. And then one person said, use both. I said, both? They were like, yeah, use both. People give you bad advice here. I used the paper gasket. I put the silicone on. And I should have known better, but I figured, hey, he seemed to be knowing what he talking about more than me. This is my first time servicing the transmission. I used both. The thing started leaking. I had to drain the fluid, and then it was messy because I didn't have no drain bolt, so I had to go right back and redo it. And then I used the paper gasket by itself. That doesn't hold. That paper gasket doesn't hold. So I had to drain the fluid again on that one, and then I used the silicone. Didn't have no issue since. But I noticed when I put this pan up there, normally when I use silicone, I just stick it up there and get everything in one go, but I kind of stuck it up there and pulled it back down a little bit, so that kind of flattened out everything. But I'm gonna tighten these bolts down just to let them be snug, and then I won't torque them yet. Give it an hour or so, and then what I'll do is I'll come back around and in an hour, and then I'll torque them. I think the torque spec for these bolts, I'm not sure. I think they should be torqued at 14, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure. I gotta look up the torque specs. But whatever the torque specs are I will come back and torque them within an hour and go from there. I'm missing one bolt. Here we go, 2 bolts actually. I'm missing 2 bolts. One here, I got that one. And oh, one at the back. Yeah, I forgot about the one back here. Hello, I am back and refreshed. So I went to Walmart earlier to get some oil for the engine while this pan has been curing, and I said I was gonna probably put it back together tomorrow, but I was gonna put food in it tomorrow, but however it has been, come here Daniel, so hot. It's 96 degrees. So when I got back from Walmart, I was just, the heat had me so exhausted. So I took a break. I had lunch. I just sat inside for a while in the cool. And then so I came back out to feel this gasket. I'm really hoping that because I shifted the pan out of place, the gasket still holds. I kind of, when I was holding it up, it kind of slid and I moved it down. I've never done that before, so it had me a little disappointed in myself. But nevertheless, we're gonna see. So what I've done is, when I see how this, it's kind of hard. It's not, you know, soft anymore. But what I've done, so that I could see if the fluid will hold, I have, because it's the front, it's the back that I'm really mostly concerned about, if it's going to leak any fluid. And so I have added some fluid just to see, and of course it won't really show much until the engine gets hot, because when it gets hot, that's when you know if this thing is going to hold. But still yet, just to see if there's any gaps. I wanted to see if some fluid was going to penetrate around the back of the pan, and I don't see anything. So I'm going to go back up top. I've already torqued down all of the bolts. It's at 12 foot-pounds that I torqued these bolts down. So I'm just going to go back up top and finish adding the fluid, and then once I finish adding the fluid, adding the oil and all that, then I will crank it up and let it start getting hot. Make sure I've got enough fluid, and then I'll do the trans relearn. Okay, I'm gonna put this in. This is 4 quarts, and I've already put a little bit from another bottle I had, which would probably be about 6, but being that I let it drain overnight, the total capacity dry, it can hold about 14 quarts, but this didn't get all the way dry because a lot of the fluid is still in the torque converter. So I'm guesstimating about maybe about 8 to 10. We'll see. I'll check it. I'll check it, and then when it gets hot, get it up to operating temperature, I'll recheck it again So while I'm letting that settle so that I can check it, I'm going to add the engine oil, and then I'll see where I'm at, crank it up, and let it start getting hot so I can prepare for the relearn. So I'm out doing a test drive, getting the transmission temperature up higher so I can make sure I've got the proper amount of fluid. I check it again, and then I'm going to do the trans relearn. I'll put it on the computer and show you guys the trans relearn. But so far, it's changing gears much smoother, and that hard downshift is gone now, right? Because it's got new filters, the fluid and everything. It flows good. It's got clean fluid, clean filters. Nothing's restricting the flow. So the hard downshifting that I was getting is gone. Now I'm just taking it easy because, again, you don't want to drive it hard until you don't want to drive it hard, period, but you want to do the trans relearn before you really get back to driving it however I'm accustomed to driving it, right? Whenever you do work on these 68 RFEs, you want to take it easy when you're testing everything out, because you still got to go through the relearn to be able to relearn the gears and the proper fluid between gears. So we're getting the temperature up, and then we're going to go right back and add more fluid, make sure the proper amount is there, and I'm going to check for leaks now too. Whew. Keep your fingers crossed. I'm praying I have no leaks. So we'll see that in a few. Okay, now we're back, and so far so good. I went around and checked, and I don't have any leaks, which is a good thing. So that means the gasket is holding. When I checked the fluid, it was just shy of one of the hot dots. The hot dots is 2 dots. Top dot is what did I do with the paper? Piece of paper. So I added the little that I had from one last quart, and then I'm gonna put this stick in there and recheck it again. This is what I was saying. See, the hot dot should be, both of those bubbles should be filled up. So we're gonna see if both of those bubbles are filled up, and I'm going to go ahead and do the relearn now, and I'll show you that. Okay, we got both bubbles full, so I'm not adding any more fluid. Okay, so this is the Launch Pro, and I've got to get the, let me see, get it on the relearn. It doesn't even take long at all. So I got a 16-pin connector, special function. Okay, all right, where is it? Electronic, gear learning, electronic, is it gear learning? Okay, wait a minute, no, it should say trans. Okay, maybe I need to go back. Okay. Special function. Okay, so what I needed to do was I went in to let it do a system scan, and then from the system scan, it scanned this specific computer. Then I go to the special function, and then I go to the I go to the system list, powertrain control module, and I hit enter. And this is what you call a bi-directional computer. It can make the vehicle do things. It can read and send information to the vehicle. So under that, you see you have a special function, quick learn RFE. So that's what we need to do. We need to do the quick learn RFE. It's going to tell you performing this function may change the state of the vehicle. Please exercise caution. You hit OK. This function will initiate quick learn procedure. Hit OK. It says engine must be running, the brake pedal must be pressed, and the parking brake set during the entire quick learn. So we're going to set the parking brake. Boom, parking brake set. I got my foot on the brake. Hit OK. Now it's going to tell you what to do. Move shift lever to overdrive. Shift to neutral. Quick learn process start sequence. Move shift to overdrive. Quick learn procedures in progress. Move shift lever to park. Quick learn procedure is complete. Quick learn procedure complete. I can take my foot off the brake, hit OK, and it's done. You see how fast that was? So less than 5 minutes, and you're not paying nearly $200 at a dealership if you just have your own computer. And that is it, guys. I hope you guys enjoy hanging with me. For anyone who may have this type of truck, it has a 68 RFE transmission. It's a very good, strong transmission. And so I hope I was able to help you or make you more comfortable doing it yourself. DIY. Have a blessed day.